All right, guys, the last segment of the night is the advice segment. You'll be hearing from all three speakers. That's myself, Ashley, and Natty. So I'll go first. Natty will take over, and then Ashley will conclude. Okay, we're going to be reading stories that persons have posted, specifically asking for advice. So the floor will be open after each section is read. Okay, so the caption on this one reads, "How to cope with guilt from divorcing my 33-year-old wife of 2 years who was just diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and bipolar." Okay, this should be fun. I feel like people are judging me for deciding I've had enough. My wife does not know how to handle conflict. She yells and threatens to leave and then comes back an hour or two later begging for forgiveness. She claims she doesn't know why she does that, but during arguments, she feels scared. She went to a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Why these words? I normally can speak. A psychologist. Yes, it's great. Thank you. I normally can speak. I promise you guys, it's not me on a regular. And was diagnosed with a slew of disorders, including what I listed above, which would be depression, anxiety, bipolar. She also had a prior diagnosis of ADHD. She claims her upbringing didn't expose her to a healthy way to argue, and she thought that yelling and cursing was normal, but she wants to learn now to do it the right way. It's all just too much. She started medication and therapy, but I'm already at the point of no return. I just don't know how to get over the guilt. When you say in sickness, in health, does this include mental illness? Even when there's been so much disrespect, when do you know it's okay to throw in the towel? The floor is open, guys, and I want to speak on this first, and then I'll take any hands that are raised. So, in sickness and in health would most definitely include mental illness. It means it's no, okay, I'll be there when you're sick with a broken arm, but not when you're there sick with cancer. You don't get to choose the sickness. It's in sickness and in health means good times and bad. At the same time, my response is conflicted. Like, I don't know what he's going through, and I don't know how much she's trying to change, meaning it is a lot to deal with somebody that has, mental illness, because they're going through their own issues and they're trying to cope. And perhaps what is normal to them is unhealthy. And then they're projecting this hate, whether it's unintentional or not, they're still projecting it onto you and you feel horrible. And nobody wants to feel like that, especially not from your partner, your significant other, etc. Right? But at the same time, it's like if she's working on herself, good for her, bravos to her. But because I'm not in a relationship, it's hard for me to say, okay, she's working on herself and she's putting in the work. You need to just support her, because I don't know. I can't see the full picture to say, okay, she's really trying, or if she's just using it as an excuse. Because you do have people that they just want to stay that way. You have people that, yes, they know what's wrong and they're working to fix their issues. But you genuinely have people who will just, okay, well, they have this ailment or they have this illness and they'll use it to manipulate you continuously and use it as an excuse to mistreat you, which that's just the reality. Like, some people are just like that. It could be because of their upbringing, and it could just be they're a terrible person. So it's really hard for me to truly say, okay, just leave her because she's not trying hard enough, or okay, stay because she's really trying, because I don't know the full picture. But assuming it's one or the other, assuming she's trying her hardest, I think the husband should try to push through. I think maybe he should consider therapy for himself and to see if this is something he's able to handle. Because in fitness and in health, yeah, maybe he just thought he could and he can't. But it would make no sense to stay in something that is tearing him down if it's just something that he's just not meant, or not just, he doesn't have the capacity to handle. I would say he needs to seek therapy and then perhaps give it a time frame. You're in a marriage. 2 years is a short time, but a lot can go wrong in 2 years. But I would say 2 years is a short time to say throw in the towel. I would say 5 years, 7 years. If it's a marriage that you're really committed to and you have so much ties to, more time. Give it a little more time versus 2 years. I'm not saying 2 years your life can turn upside down, but at the same time, is this person not trying to get better? Is this person, yes, they're going to therapy, but are they doing what they're supposed to? Going to therapy is not just going there and listening to what they have to say. It's realizing your bad habits, your bad behaviors, things that you need to change, things that you need to correct, things that you project onto other people that may hurt them. Because what's the point of you getting therapy and at the end of the day, me need therapy because of you? How is that fair? You know what I mean? So I feel like I would need more details to really assess and say, okay, the best case scenario is X or Z. But you do have people that are out there that they know what's wrong with them and they don't care to change. You can't change them until they want to change, and they'll use their illness against you forever. They'll always, oh, it's because I'm this, it's because I'm that. They'll always manipulate the situation. And that's like another form of abuse, but it exists. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but I'm saying it exists. So it's hard for me to say, which way the husband should go. It all depends. I would just need more context. And I probably need context from both sides. The floor is open if anyone else wants to speak. I see the comment sections going off. I'm going to read those. And then we can move on to if anyone wants to speak. One stop at Bellevue, but she was diagnosed by professionals. And like he said, she wants to change. So seek help her and himself. Okay. So two persons have their hands raised. Let me see who is first. Ashley and then Marianne. Go ahead, Ashley.
Well, for me, no. Even ask the question in sickness and in health. It doesn't matter what kind of sickness the person may have. From you love that person very much, it does not matter what the person does. There must be some way you can just find it in your heart to forgive the person. And that means that you didn't really love the person. I mean, if him try and he has no other thing. I mean, like he goes therapy, he does marriage counseling and all of that, and he also helps her. I would say okay, but she's as it says here, she is trying. So find something. That's just me.
Thank you for sharing, Ashley. Go ahead, Marianne.
Okay, what I would suggest is, a lot of times we get fed up and frustrated with others, but if the shoe were on the other foot, what would we want? And my final comment on this would be, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. So the same amount of patience you want a person to have with you, afford the person the same.
Thank you for sharing, Marianne. I will say, though, I don't know if that's always the same, that's accurate in our cases, because I do feel like each of us have different mental capacities, and each of us can handle different situations. Some of us certain situations we don't know how to handle and would just crumble. Not all, but some. So do unto others as you'd like them to do unto you. Some persons would say, make him leave. So, make him go on. If me and no one go on with me, he can't help me. Make him go on. So some persons would say, oh, I want him to stay because I don't want someone to stay for me, The next advice segment will be handed by Natty.
So my 27-year-old boyfriend quits his job and we have 24 million, that's the pay, and does nothing around the house. Should I leave? So a little backstory. I broke my leg and had to go on a sick leave from work as I have a physically demanding job. And as a result, my salary has more than half. I've since applied and got an office job so I can return to work as soon as possible. The job doesn't start until next month though. My boyfriend decided to quit his job and he spends most of his time smoking weed, playing video games, and eating junk food. I am still on crutches, but I find myself doing 95% of the housework. He's extremely messy. I have to constantly nag him and ask him to do things. As of right now, he's been talking about hovering for 2 weeks now. It's been almost 2 days since he's last hovered. It's one of the things I can't do myself at the moment. He's just so lazy and unmotivated sometimes. I hate that I have to nag him to get him to get anything done. I'm starting to feel like I'm his mother. Whenever I bring it up, he either gets defensive or he says he'll change. I had to clean his tobacco off the kitchen table today. It's been there 2 days. I've been the tidiest, and neither am I, to be honest, but he's getting worse and worse. And now I have a broken leg. Like, I can't do as much as I'd like. Is this just wheeze? Am I expecting too much? Am I being uptight and boring? Is this a silly reason to leave someone?
The floor is open, guys. Give your advice. What do you think she should do in that situation? Oh, someone saying they didn't hear one part of it about the 2 days. Let's go back. It said, as of right now, he's been talking about hovering for 2 days now. It's been almost 2 weeks since he last hovered. It's one of the things I can't do by myself at the moment. Hovered. I'm not sure what that is. Hovered and hovered. So what do you think she should do? Do you think she's overreacting? You think it's silly reason to want to leave him and end the relationship? What do you think? Hi, iPhone. If you could rename yourself so we know who you are. So let's see, some hands are raised here. Hi, Shante. Welcome. All right. Marianne and then Sandy. Go ahead, Marianne.
Okay, so I'm looking at it from two different perspectives. Firstly, him losing his job could have put him in a mental state that, he becomes unresponsive to certain things, and he lacks motivation and all of that. But at the same time, I believe that if the woman gets injured, that should spark something if you love that woman any at all. Yes, it could be that he's at a state in that mental depression that nothing around him matters much, but I believe that if I am hurt, you should be hurting as well as my partner. And for the fact that me being hurt doesn't prick something in him, and it doesn't push him to say, all right, I'm lacking in some area. Let me try and fulfill my role as a man, in some other way to try and help out as much as possible. She's hurt, so it shows that if I am hurting, no matter what you're going through, it's all about you. He seems a bit selfish to me. That's what I'm seeing there.
Thank you so much for sharing. The next person had their hand up was Sandy. And after Sandy is Natty. Go ahead, Sandy.
Hi, good night, everyone. In regards to this one, I think it said that he quit his job when she was injured, not lost his job, right?
Yes, it says he quit his job. She has a broken leg, so she's on a medical leave because of it.
All right. Well, my first impression was that he's probably going through a phase in his life, maybe depression, and that is something that we really don't understand unless you go through it ourselves. So he's probably in some mental space where he doesn't even realize that he's doing something that is hurting her. And in regards to her saying he's lazy or he's not doing whatever, I'm sure he didn't just get up and stop doing them. I'm sure he wasn't doing them before, or he wasn't doing some things, but it's just that because she's there now consistently, they're popping up and she's seeing it and it bothers her more. So I don't think she should give up on the relationship, because some of the things she's noticing now would have already been there, but she's working 9 to 5, so they didn't really bother her before. And yes, she's going through something. She has a broken leg, but he's also going through something. So she should also see what he's going through, and they can probably work it out together. She should have a conversation with him, like a serious conversation, find out what is wrong. Because quitting your job, unless you're a lazy person before it takes some consideration, it means you have gotten to a state where you cannot do it anymore. So I think he's going through something, and she should also have a conversation with him to see what it is. And yes, I know she is hurt, but he's also a person and he can go through stuff while she's going through her stuff also. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sandy. I wanted to say though, I believe she mentioned earlier that he wasn't doing much before, but he's gotten worse. Like he's gotten so much worse, and she can't do much to help around the house. So I do agree that he could be going through something. Quitting his job, man. Quitting his job. At the same time, I don't know if he quit the job before she got the injury. So it could have been a case where he was unemployed before she even, was hurt. So maybe I don't know if she being injured, if he would still want to quit, because I don't know the mental space he's in. I feel like, maybe the female should probably take some time away from him, like a few days. And I say this because sometimes when you're overcome by like strong emotions and you're frustrated, you can only see things from one perspective. You're not able to like compartmentalize your feelings from rational, etc. So, like take a little breather, just take a step back and like see the full picture. So we'll and come again. Because I don't think she's able to see everything. Like what we're discussing here, we're still talking about his mental state and all those stuff. I don't think she's even like consider it. And sometimes we get so caught up in our own issues that we might forget or absent-minded may not realize that other persons have their own stuff going on that they're trying to deal with, that they're trying to figure out. So I do agree with you on so many points. Go ahead, Sandy. Okay, and then Ashley. Sandy, you lower your voice. You still want to speak?
I was just saying, comparing the first one and the second one, we were suggesting that, well, not we, well, some persons are suggesting that the man stick it out. And for this one, we're saying the lady should take a break to just look at things. But we didn't think the guy should take a break and separate from his wife. I just think.
Well, I did say he should seek therapy to see what's
well, no, not you. I didn't specifically say. I said some.
Okay.
So I'm just saying.
I think we're more
based on
sympathetic
male
towards
and
our females
female,
than we are towards.
yes.
I think it's just the conditioning, unfortunately.
I would wish that this comment was more elaborative, or it was extended some more, because I'd just like to ask one question. Is it a case that she knew he was this way before they got in a relationship? Because if that was the case, then she should not be complaining, because she knew what she was going in for. Why complain? You opted for it.
I see the message in the comment section. Someone says, never too late to leave. They are both young, trying to figure life out. Yeah. Okay. The next advice portion, Matthew will continue from here.
Back again, guys. Okay. How to let a guy down nicely. So, I'm a 27-year-old female. I met a 28-year-old male at work. Yes, I'm already kicking myself for pursuing someone at work. We only talked maybe 5 times at work. He was nice. He works in a different department now, and he emailed me asking if I'd like to go to coffee with him. So I responded, and we met for a coffee outside of work. We met for a coffee for an hour and a half. I just wasn't feeling it, He was very eager, almost aggressive. Blurt out that we should go on a weekend trip already. Got defensive when I say I was meeting a friend later for dinner. He texted me 20 minutes after the coffee and asked to hang out again. Then he texted me nightly for at least 3 hours at a time. These conversations never went anywhere and were about stupid things. He asked to hang out again, and I told him I would see him around at work, thinking he'd get the hint. He let a week pass, and he texted me at 6 a.m. in the morning asking if we could hang out again. I was hoping he got the hint when I told him I'll see him at work, but obviously he didn't. I really just wanted to go see him at this point, but A, this means that I don't want to unless I have to, and B, we will still see each other at work since our workplace isn't that big. I just don't like him, and I don't want to waste his time or mine. I don't want to tell him I'm seeing someone else, because I don't know if we're actually dating or if he just wants to be friends. He seems like he wants to date, but I don't know what to assume anymore. Guys, how should I handle this?
Yeah. I'm not one to hurt people's feelings, but at the same time, I'm not like grown kinda. So if I don't like you, simply put, in a nice, decent way without you feeling offended or anything, tell him the truth. People need to learn nowadays, so just let your mind be heard, Stop growing kinda. Because when you do those things, you kind of lead people on, Just be plain. Sometimes it hurts. The truth hurts, so it may cause an offense, but it's not a sin. All right, so just be truthful. I think it's the best and easiest way to get out of complicated situations.
Alrighty, thank you. Next, I see. Wait, is it Sandy that just went?
No, well,
Okay, so
for
Sandy,
well, not this one.
you can go
Okay.
ahead now.
All right. So this one is sticky because if she lets him down and he has a problem with that, it's going to complicate things at work. So if it was me and she said that she's unsure if it's just friendship, which I don't think it's friendship because your friend wouldn't be texting you at 6 in the morning for just a friendship when he's going to see you at work in 2 hours. So I'm sure it's something more that he wants. I would tell him that I would go for that second coffee or whatever. And then I would tell him that I like him as a friend, but I'm looking for something else. And he doesn't really fit the bill in the nicest way I could possibly tell him. And that I hope that he meets somebody that he likes and we'll see each other at work as friends. That's what I'd do. And then if he continue texting me, I'd change my number.
Okay,
That's
thank you very much. So, like, I know a lot of persons have been in this situation where the feelings are not reciprocated, or you just don't like the person, or you don't like their approach to the situation, right, guys? So, me personally, but no, like when you're in a them situations there, you kind of don't want to hurt the person. You know, I say mixed signals. You kind of hide out the person. If you can hide out the person, yeah, you did do it. So I think like the best thing to do would have be like
Mhm.
to like talk to them. I should say, and I one away and who like a maids to say, yo, X, Y, Z. If you're in a relationship, obviously that make them know that from day one. But just to like straight up say, you know, I'm not interested or etc. 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 because you've been up with me for coffee and then get upset. Those are red flags right there, like big red flags. So just you don't know how people stay have some mad people out there, especially if you come from Jamaica, then can't take no, them can't take no, yeah, answer. But just be respectful so everybody don't feel like you did depend like a styling thing or you did a lead them on because she'll make it continue for a while and then he go say, but you did a lead me on do X, Y, Z. So that's what I think.
Few persons in the comment section saying them feel a way for shame people because they don't like it and they're very prideful. Exactly. Texting at 6 in the morning shows that you're the first thing on his mind. Sorry. Now make the man make me change my number, but I have to understand himself. Get a restraining order. I'm going to share a story with you guys. The persistency of this person, a personal story. So in my community, there was this young man that was like flirting with me, looking me and whatever. I'm gonna just tell him blatantly because like somebody who works part-time and works full-time and studies part-time, I'm like, to tell you the truth, I don't have no time for nobody right now but myself. I barely have time for myself. I'm not interested in nothing. And this dude literally said to me that you can't tell me no. If I want to make a get to some, I just said to him like, no, sir, that sounds like some rape vibe, and I ain't about it. Man said, if I just saw, I just saw. Yeah, man, distance, wicked. Told my family about him just to be, just in case, you know, because I work long hours sometimes and come home in the night. I'm like, no, that person here, no, thank you. So some people just don't know the word no. Them don't respect the word no. Some people I just saw them stay. I mean, I saw them right, but I saw some people stay. So even yes, you could have said no in every language and them not understand you. I see Pamela and Sandy have their hands raised. Go ahead.
I was just what I was going to say is just what you have said. You know, you have some people who some men, and it goes both sides. You tell them no, and they're not taking the no. And sometimes you have to go the extra mile, block them. You have to, do some things that you would normally do, as an individual, just to get rid of them out of your life. So sometimes it's not that easy to say they don't accept the no, But it's for me, it's not good to lead anybody astray. If you're not interested in the relationship, then interested in another person, you say, listen, I'm not up to it, and you're serious. You don't lead them on. Some of us we tend to lead on for, let me check out if him see if him have money or something like that. And then, it end up the wrong way. That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I just want to add to what you were saying. When you were saying sometimes you have to block them. I'm not gonna lie to you. You have times that even when you block them still find a way to try and reach out to you. Sometimes they're so persistent. Like I just don't understand. I feel like the word no just not strong enough, even though it should be the only word they need for ear. Once you say no, it's no. You shouldn't need a word stronger than no. You understand what I mean? Two letters. No. N-O, not O-N on. No. But it's true. Go ahead, Sandy, and then Bianca.
I'm just gonna agree with both you and Pamela, I think it was. Well, she basically said most of what I was gonna say, because boundaries, a lot of persons don't know the word no. Just gonna say it wasn't work. It wasn't a person who was trying to date me or anything, but I had to change my number because my boss didn't know boundaries. She would call you on Sunday nights, and it's like she doesn't know personal space. So I changed my number. So sometimes we have to go to the extreme to get rid of problems that we wouldn't otherwise get rid of. So changing a number is one of the solutions that I could think of to get her to stop calling me outside of work hours whenever she feels like.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Sandy. Some persons say in the comments, they'll email you, even write your letters. Some people even create alternate accounts. She mad or is a woman? She a look. They will need to a few more O's on the word. No, it's too short. Okay, so we need to have no. That lots of O's behind it. Okay. Go ahead, Bianca. And after Bianca, it's Kevin.
Sandy said most of what I wanted to say, but my advice to anyone would definitely be, if you have to go to the extreme to get rid of a person, or just to, in some cases, protect yourself, because people are crazy. You get me? Like, people are sick, are out there with undiagnosed personality disorders and stuff like that. So if it takes changing a number, I don't know, change a number. You get me? And yes, they will find other ways to contact you. It's so scary, bro. It's honestly, it's really so scary to even think about all these things. And I've personally been in so many situations. Like I've had a stalker when I was in grade 6. I had a stalker until for 3 years. This boy was stalking me from the 6th grade straight up to when I was in third form. I literally moved parishes, and this is that man outside my window. Stuff like that. It's mad scary. So anything I have to do, just do what I have to do, and try stay far from these sickos.
Thank you so much for sharing, Bianca. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, a lot was said, but what I think we should realize is that there is like a difference between liking someone and harassing someone, because a lot of time people don't understand that if I don't want you, I don't want you. Some of them feel like they can control people, or I don't know, probably that's how they grew up, or that's how they were taught, but some people just don't understand that no means no. And if it comes down to the point where you feel unsafe or uncomfortable about how a person makes you feel, then clearly they're doing something wrong. So the best way is to protect yourself, probably tell your family about it, and just try and stay safe.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Kevin. And also, guys, this just reminds me of those situations where persons are in toxic or abusive relationship, and like they try to leave, and we know how some of those end. So I don't know. I don't know if we need to reinstill the value of the word no and just taking rejection, but even some men, I don't know if you guys have, well, some of you ladies experience this firsthand. A guy is down the street and you not pay him the mind and him start cuss you out on class. I'm like, you were just kissing me and I look sexy to you a moment ago, but now that I'm like not interested, I'm the most repulsive person. What? You guys can't just listen, no, just take it and just calmly take it and move on with the day. Why so much aggression? Because I'm rejecting your attention and what you're trying to convey to me. Why you have to stay so? Go ahead, Stephanie.
Yeah, I was just going to type in the chat and say that most Jamaican men harass women. Most of them don't come to us like normal, like how normal people would want to date somebody. It's always some sort of harassment. But because our culture accepts it, it just becomes norm to us. But if you get exposed to other men, you realize that, like other culture men, you realize that what the hell, what them did I do? Like, this not right then. Because when man are looking at, most men are looking at Jamaica, them come with some things, them want to touch you, them, and them look at something they so like, and then when you, as you say, when they don't get a chance to deal with you how they are used to dealing with most or majority of the females, them start class you, them forgot to them did like you or like your shape, them start calling you all sort of names and so on. So I guess it's our culture too. Men do it other places, but just speaking in general as it regards to Jamaican men, they go hard on the harassment thing.
Thank you so much, and that's so true. Thank you for sharing, Stephanie. Go ahead, Kevin, and then Kevin, and then we'll move on.
So Marianne made a point in the chat that socialization has a lot to do with how we think, and I agree. Like when I was growing up, among my male peers, I used to hear them talk about women in a certain way, and I have to wonder how they could speak about women, like sexualize them and treat them as objects. And then, I don't know, maybe they got that from their family or from their dads, or I don't know, but where I grew up, you had to respect women. And that's the thing. If you don't teach children, especially boys, from an early age about these things, then they too would grow up and treat women in a certain way. And that would cause a lot of problems for the society in terms of how they should think and act in certain situations. And the truth is, many of them don't even have a mind of their own, because if them friend tell them something, them go take it and run with it, and then you have peer pressure and all of that. So the society and the culture really shape a lot of people and how they act and think.
Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna move on.
So my ex and I were together for 5 years. We broke up in late 2014. Her little sister and I attended the same university. She's doing her degree and I'm doing my postdoc. So we occasionally see each other. We're not particularly close, so most of the time we just smile and nod as we walk past each other. Sometimes we exchange a few words. However, in the past 4 weeks, we've both been getting lunch in the food court and we struck up a conversation. We ate lunch together and exchanged numbers because I agreed to give her some of my notes. Later that night, I sent her some of my notes. A few days after that, she asked if I could help her with understanding some things. We talked over Skype, but we were having trouble communicating. So I agreed to go to her apartment to help her the following morning. We ended up doing the do that morning, and then again a few days later.
Doing the do? Doing the do? Sorry.
We
Also
both
known as sex.
Right?
we
My girl said doing
both
the do.
enjoyed our time together and agreed to continue doing it on a regular basis. She's a little young, but she's beautiful and I really like her. I'm a little confused because I'm not sure whether I'm doing this is right or not. I'm also not sure if my ex would be upset whether she would just brush it aside. We're both in agreement that our relationship is casual and that we have to keep it private, but I'm a little worried about her sister finding out, asking for a friend.
What do you think he should do? You think he should tell him ex, say, hey, I went through you. I know I'm going through your little sister. It's a family reunion. Oh my God. What do you guys think? And do you guys think that that's something, is that like against the bro code or whatever code? Like, is that acceptable?
Why? From the exchange notes passing off. I know, man. I know what's something even normal. Just it's both exchanging.
Someone was saying in the comments, like, that's a little suspicious, a little red flag right there. When the person said, little young, how young? You know? She shouldn't have gone there. But here's the thing, we're looking at the guy's perspective, but what about the sister? Do you think she's messed up for doing that to her older sister? Like, this is her ex, and you're gonna go there with her ex? Someone saying, we make soup and thing already, so right now this feel normal. Oh gosh, Dalvin, really? What you guys think? Raise on hand. Give the person advice. Should they tell the big sister or not? Should they keep doing it? Where wanna go on? Go ahead, Bianca.
Okay, so first of all, nobody's going to continue doing anything. Let's start there. You get me? Secondly, I want to say a few things, but it doesn't have enough context for me to even speak on anything. But it wrong, right or wrong. You get me? This is your sister. Yeah, like this is your sister, and Mr. Sir, that's the little sister. That don't seem no. It seem no. I literally I have very few words. I'm sorry. I'm baffled. I'm mm-mm. That is all, I guess. Don't
Thank you for sharing.
don't tell. I don't know.
Anybody else wants to take the floor?
Personally, it should go there. So you see me? Like it's kind of double thingy because it depends like how him and the ex, cause sister ex, and then the whole he's a bit young part is just like a big no. So me not know that part show me off, not gonna lie. But I mean, if you guys are ex, then I would say like just go and have a one-way talk with the ex to make sure so everything cool. Okay, you don't want awkward situations, but at the same time, you're not really like obligated. You see me? Them out to your life. So you see me? Me not know.
Yeah, Mazia for true. Mazia completely. Yep. All right. So what goes into my sister cannot enter me. Must for like that. That's so wrong. That's so wrong. Ariane, what you say? But I understand what you're saying though. And I don't know. I feel like I have siblings and I wouldn't want to share anything they've tossed out. So I don't know. I just feel like, how are you comfortable with that? But then again, you realize some people don't mind mix soup all around. So they're fantastic. So the next one on our list, we will have speaker Ashley reading this story for us. So take the floor, Ashley. We're ready for you.
Go, Ash.
Okay, so do you think let's have a girl and she does that on the first date? If you're interested in a girl...
Hold on. Pause. Sorry. This is after 11 and I'm sure we're talking to adults. So we can say the S word. Please. I know what that is. I'm going to know do. Let's say the S word, man.
You call it S word.
Come on, say sex. What's wrong with it?
Why you have to say it like that? You said that very sexual, but that sounds wrong. Why you have to say it like that?
Boy.
Do you think let's have a girl when she has sex on the first date? If you're interested in a girl on a date and you decide to have sex on the first date, do you see her not as much as dating material? I know this sub has talked about this before, but I still don't really know what to do. part of me, which is a 22-year-old female, wants to because what? But I don't want it to ruin my chances at getting into more romantic situations.
That's it. What do you guys think? Do you think it makes a girl like takes away from her value when she has sex on the first date? You guys think she should wait? What about like the 90-day wait period that some people think girls should have some sense of virtue, something like that? I don't know. Go ahead, Sandy. I see your hand is raised. Take the floor.
So isn't he having sex on the first date also? Why should it
It's double standard, right? The double standard.
Because they're both giving up the goods on the first date, and it shouldn't just be her being you know what. It should be both of them. And if they have good chemistry and they do decide to do the deed, it shouldn't be because of sex. Why you don't want to wife her up or whatever you guys say, or go on further dates with her. It should be other things, like some other thing or something as not just that. And maybe she does it with you, but not with the other guys that she went on a date with. So you need to have conversation.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sandy. Go ahead, Bianca. And after Bianca, we have Marianne and then Kevin.
Okay, I agree with the previous person. That was my main thing. I hate how sexist this argument gets. You get me? Both of y'all had sex. Y'all both gave it up, quote unquote, gave it up on the first date. Like, what's wrong with Miss Lady? Why are we focusing on her? Why are you not questioning yourself? And why you probably never even walk with protection and all that, make something there, and you're going to be the one that is judging. So yeah, no, I don't think it's just sex. You get me? It's consensual. I don't think that draws from anybody's value, whether it's the first day or the 90-day wait thing. It's if you want to do something, just do it. We're all grown. My thing is, as long as it's consensual, no issue. I don't see why it should be an issue.
Thank you, and I agree. As long as it's consensual. We'll come back to the word no again. Go ahead, Marianne. Kevin, low hand, but you still want to speak, Kevin, after Marianne? Or are you good?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Marianne.
Okay, let me be devil's advocate a bit. I grew up hearing this phrase, you can't do what a man does and still be a lady. So even though it sounds sexist and all these fancy words we want to call it, there's no way we will do something a man would normally do, and society looks at us as still, sorry, my baby crying. There's no way society will look at us as ladies anymore. All right, I have an example. Recently, 3 sixth form students were caught at a boarding house next to the school. However, 2 females were there and 1 boy or a man, right? Now, this young man in sixth form, he is now looked at in the school as a king. But these ladies now are called sluts, pardon my language. So I believe that as women, our bodies and our dignity, it's like a crown. So we should cherish it, polish it, for want of a better word, just be a queen. Queens don't do what regular women do, So that's just my take on it.
Thank you very much for sharing, Marianne. Go ahead, Bianca, and then we'll take Dalvin.
Okay. I guess I can understand where the previous lady is coming from. But at the same time, I'm just going to try. I'm not going to be closed minded right now. You get me? But you said that you used the word queens. So a woman owning her sexuality, okay, a woman having sex on the first date with, I don't know, 10 other dudes, this is all consensual. The man does it too. You're saying that the man is still the king, and the woman is not a queen, quote unquote queen. How does sex pull away from all of that? Sex that was literally made for it. Anybody can participate in sex. I'm not understanding. I don't see how I'm less of a queen for having sex on the first date. I can understand if I was called irresponsible. You get me, for having sex with several men, without knowing anything, without taking precautions. I could understand being called irresponsible. But saying that I do not, what did you say? You said something about the body being something, and we should polish it and all that. So I don't polish. I don't do that. It's just a lot of questions, That's all.
Thank you for sharing, Bianca. Go ahead, Dalvin.
Um, all of this just comes down to a person's preference, but in reality, why the whole 90-day thing might come up is just to please society. Because most of the times when you're talking to someone, you can, say, yo, you and them click. And if you feel that feeling there and you choose to have sex with them, then go for it. Why wait 90 days while the both are now got frustrated and will and do it and all kind of stuff? But yeah, go wait 90 days just for me certain things, because whether people admit it or not, that's a major factor when it comes down to relationships. And they are go wait 90 days, and then you find out, say, at the first time that you see them without clothes, right? And you realize, yo, they don't groom themselves properly, all of them stuff there. And then in your head, you just are going up leave same time, right? So it all comes down to preference, but the whole weight thing, it comes down to women more well just care what other people are thinking instead of care about them own happiness.
Thank you very much for sharing, Dalvin. We're moving on to our final portion regarding the advice segment. This will be the closure for tonight, and Ashley will be taking the floor. So go ahead.
She canceled our date because of my zodiac sign. I'm a bit thrown off by this, but I was canceled on due to my zodiac sign. Throughout the week before work, I visit a coffee shop. I go practically every week, and I've been seeing the same baristas there every morning. We seem to click well with our small conversations, and after chatting with her for a few weeks, I decided to offer my number, since she was on the clock. She declined to take my number but gave me her Snapchat. We chatted a bit on Snapchat and agreed to go on a date Friday. About an hour after that, she said she wouldn't be able to go out with me because she saw on my Snap profile that I was an Aries. She said she doesn't date Aries, but it was nice meeting me. Is this something that is common in the dating world? I've never been rejected over my zodiac sign before, so it kind of surprised me.
What do you guys think about that? Prioritizing the zodiac signs. So if we're not compatible zodiac signs, then it's just a no. So Gemini, Aquarius, and something there.
That makes no sense.
Why do you think so? Why do you think so, iPhone? I'm Android, by the way. I'm Android. Go ahead.
Well, kind of zodiac sign that doesn't make no sense, but zodiac sign compatible with that and that. Like, they can they far apart, you see me? Far apart. Like when I go up on Google, you search with zodiac sign and with zodiac sign meant for each other. Some of them shit they don't real. They don't make no sense, them fake. You understand what I say?
Thank you for sharing iPhone. I wish I got your name, but I guess iPhone will work. Go ahead, Kevon. And after Kevon, we have Jada.
Honestly, well, like everyone say, it all come back to preference and how someone feels about other people and what they think. But to be so auspiciously into zodiac signs, it it just don't make any sense because at the end of the day, the stars. Alright, I'm not going to go into that, but you can't really define someone based on what Google or wherever you get information from. And to judge someone based on their sign, it just not right. Personally, I'm not thinking right. Because you have to say, well, all Aries men are what? Them aggressive or stuff. Yeah, but have you actually met the person? Have you actually spoke to the person? What are they like? You can't really just take stuff and run with it without verifying it yourself. So that's what I think about it.
Thank you very much for sharing, Kevon. Go ahead, Jada.
It really makes no sense to me because you might have a bad experience with a specific somebody who's that same sign, but that does not mean that the person is the same as them. So it really makes no sense.
Thank you. I think it's a matter of belief as well. Some persons believe in astrology like that, so they base their life decisions and those stuff around it. Me personally, I don't think your zodiac sign defines who you are, defines your character. I don't think your month dictates who you are because I've seen persons who born in March were mean, persons born in January mean, February, any month, no matter the month you're born with. That's just who you are. That's just who you are. I feel like, how you are as a person mostly depends mostly on like how you were brought up, cultural exposure, stuff like that. I don't think the month you were born in or the period you were born in or the zodiac sign really, it stipulates who you are as a character. And I don't think it makes sense to say, okay, well, you're an Aries, I'm not gonna date you. Okay, you're a Scorpion. No, thank you. Ew. No, thank you. Like, no, that don't make sense to me. Go ahead, Dalvin.
And I really something isn't really. I have a question, right? Why is it that women always say bad things about Libra? Because of that, they always make it a point of duty to just run from women that speak too much about zodiac signs. So what's the problem with the Libras?
That's not like a personal question you're asking, though, Dalvin. What's wrong with the Libras? So like Marian said, nothing wrong with Uno. Nothing wrong with Uno. So you're fine. Another Libra there. Go through Dalvin and Marian, the two Libras so far. I'm an Aquarius. My birthday is actually tomorrow. In the next 30 minutes or so is my birthday. Yay. Go ahead. Who had them hand up and them lower them hand? What them gone? I think it was Bianca. Go ahead, Bianca.
Never mind. I don't want to speak anymore.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for turning out.